Now, if you're trying to slay a frontal wig like this, I highly advise you to keep watching, baby girl. Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel, and today in this video we are going to be plucking. I decided to do a series of videos so you are able to get specifically what you want out of each videos, and this one is going to be solely on plucking for beginners. I'm going to be breaking everything down to a T for you guys, so let's get into it. So here I'm just showing you the bleaching process, which was in my last video. Like, you can just go ahead and take a look and see how good these like parting within my wig looks now that I've bleached it. So that's the first video you should go ahead and watch before you go ahead and start plucking your unit or your closure. Or even if it's just a frontal by itself, this is going to be the perfect video to learn how to start plucking. So because I know I'm going to be mainly wearing this unit in the middle part, I went ahead and parted it. This is a pre-plucked unit that it was sent how it was plucked in the front. However, I want it to be just a little more natural looking than what it does look here. You will see that there are still a little bit of knots that aren't fully bleached, but that's because I don't like leaving my bleach on too long, as you'll see in my last video. But once again, when you get to my customization video, you'll see how that doesn't even matter, honestly. So the whole purpose, like the whole technique, I'd like to call it, is like it's kind of like a zigzag pattern. So it's like you're gonna have hair, then you're gonna pluck and leave a space. And then as you can see with my hands, you'll see that I pulled some hair over to the side. Then I'm going to go ahead and pluck there. And then I take another little piece of hair to push over. And then I pluck some more. Pluck, pluck, pluck. I pull over another small piece of hair and I pluck. Honestly, you're just plucking just a couple hairs going in an upward direction. And you're going to just continue to do that same pattern throughout the entire left side of your wig. Or that was the right side of my wig, sorry. It's hard to think about the camera. So if you can see closely here, you can see hair, space, hair, space, hair, space, hair, space, hair, space, hair, space. So I'm kind of just drawing your attention to how the pattern should look as you continue to pluck throughout. It's literally just because, you know, when you look at your natural hairline, it's not just completely just full all over. You know, it's a little finer in the front. For some people, it's a little thicker than others, but the more majority, like there's like a more finer beginning to your hairline. So that's the look that you're trying to achieve. So after you finish whatever side you chose to do first, whether that's the middle part or even a side part, you're going to continue to do that same method all throughout the entire hairline. Or even if it's a closure, it goes the same way. So you're going to continue that same technique, which is hair, space, and you're plucking in an upward position. Like just going up and just, you know, plucking 2 or 3 here, 2 or 3 there, 2 or 3 here, 2 or 3 there within leaving a space. That's the best way I can explain it to you guys to understand, because I remember when I used to watch plucking videos and they're just like, you just pluck to your preference, but it's like, well, what is it supposed to look like? So I just felt like this was the best example to give to help beginners, especially because it looks honestly truly like a real hairline in my opinion. And once you see the final finishes at the end of this video, you'll definitely see exactly what I mean compared to what it looked like in the very beginning. So then as you can see, you just see me pulling out the hair from what I did within plucking in the very first row. I'm just showing you guys how much excess hair is left, or that I pulled out rather. So more than most likely, your very first row is going to be your baby hairs. And so you're going to want to continue to pluck onto another row of hair, because, or even if you don't have baby hairs, it still looks more natural just to continue that same pattern throughout. So right now you just see me parting the hair to prep it for the same exact method that I showed you guys before. So that way it's going to look extremely natural when I'm all done, said and done. I know it looks kind of crazy right now, but trust and believe that the final finish is going to look great. So you're going to go ahead and pull that first little thin layer down of what you probably would even be baby hairs, and you're going to go ahead and put it in a clip. So that way it's just kind of out of your way. And then you're going to also clip the other hair to keep it back like how it was when we plucked the very front row of the hair. So you're just going to go ahead and get the extra little hairs out of the way, and then continue doing the exact same technique that I already told you guys about. So then after all your hair is clipped up and out of your way, you're going to go ahead and start that same hair space, hair space, hair space, hair space technique. Once again, you are plucking to your liking in a sense, but I suggest, as you can see, like as I'm on each section, I'm probably taking out at least 10 strands of hair per space. But it's like you're not even really thinking about it. You're going to start to get such a hang of it that you're going to know when to stop. Because you obviously don't want to go too crazy. You're not trying to look like you ain't got no edges. You don't want to look bald, like you're balding. But one thing I do want you to notice is that pretty much every space that you see within your front row, you should be doing the opposite. Like there should be hair in that second row. So if you see a space that's within your front row where your baby hairs may be, then that should be a part where you should have hair in the row that's above it. So you're going to alternate the pattern. So if in the very beginning your first row was space, hair, space, hair, space, hair, in the second row it should be hair, space, hair, space, hair, space. I feel like that's the best way to describe it. So you're literally going to be doing the opposite of the row below it. So that way when it all is pulled back, it just falls right into place as it should, versus it just looking like a bald line going straight up for all the rows. Like that's not the look that you should be going for. So pretty much you alternate hair space, hair space, hair space per row. And that's the best way I can describe it to you. If you have any questions, just leave them in the description box below, and I'm usually really well with replying to any type of questions that people have, especially since right now my channel is such a small platform. But that's the best way to describe it, and I'm gonna go ahead and zoom in for you guys. So now I'm just finishing off combing out all of the excess hair from my plucking, and then you're gonna go ahead and see me do the same thing to the exact same other side as I did for the last rows. You're just going to go ahead and once again repeat that same exact method. Hair space, hair space, hair space. At this point you should pretty much already have a gist of it. There's no extra special surprises, but I felt like I should still kind of show you a little bit of my process so you can kind of see how you should be coming along. But I'm speeding some of it up just so the video's not 30 hours long. But here's a little zoom in action. So here I'm going to just be showing you that hair space, hair space, hair space, hair, subtle space, and I'm going to just continue to do that exact same technique. Once again, like I said, by now you should be a pro almost, but you can definitely, I zoomed in so you can see exactly how it should look. And like I said, you don't have to go too crazy for your very first unit. And that's why I'm just showing you how much hair that I personally took out. But once again, it's to your liking. But do not forget that you should alternate in every row that you do. So here you just see me pull it all back just to see if I like it for just the 2 rows. I'm just taking a good look for myself. You know, I'm just like, is this enough? Is that enough? And that's what you should be doing. But if you feel it's enough, then just go ahead and stop. There's no point of continuing to do more work for yourself. If you are already satisfied, in my opinion, there's just no purpose of doing that. But for me, I'm sitting here thinking like, I think I'm going to do a 1 more row. Just 1 more. But here's like a zoom in of like how it looks thus far. And you have to remember that that first row, you're still going to have a little bit of baby hair. So you just have to keep that in mind, especially for those of you who are going to be pulling it up and doing half up, half downs and things like that. But I decided that I'm going to just do 1 more row, because that basically means just like 2 rows of in total it's 3 rows of plucking. But once again, for that 3rd row, if you are to do 1, you are going to do the opposite of the row below, because you want it to all kind of fall in place. I mean, yes, there's still going to be a little bit of spacing in the front, which is the look that you're going for, because everyone does not have a perfect full hairline, because I feel like that looks weird and fake. So I'm just speeding up this part because I'm not trying to make this video way too long for you guys, but at this point you guys should have a nice gist of what you are doing until you have reached the final product. And so I'm just kind of going straight through this, and I will go ahead and show you guys what it looks like at the end. If you feel my plucking looks like it's too much, also keep in mind that my unit is still wet. So once it's dry, it's going to kind of fill out a little bit even more. So that's something that you probably don't know as a beginner. Or so if you want to blow dry it before you start plucking, you could definitely go ahead and do that so you have a better vision of what it's going to look like. So here I'm just blow drying now so you guys can get a vision of what it'll look like once it's dry. And then I'm going to show you my favorite product, which is the L'Oreal Intense Smoothing Frizz Taming Serum. It's something that I'm going to put in it before I flat iron it and do my baby hairs. I definitely love this stuff. It's definitely a holy grail, in my opinion, so definitely purchase it. It'll be in the description box below. But you should definitely go ahead and take a look at my next video for baby hairs and styling.